When you think about games, whether it's soccer on the field, a video game on a console, or a board game with friends, they all have one thing in common. The players have to work together or compete within a system that has rules. Inside every living thing, cells are playing their own kind of game every second of the day. They're not rolling dice or moving pieces, but they are following instructions, making moves, and depending on each part to do its job. If one piece fails, the game could be lost. The cell could die. Cells are the building blocks of life, but they are also like tiny machines running on teamwork. At the center of it all is the nucleus, which acts like the rulebook and referee combined. It holds the DNA instructions that guide everything from how proteins are made to when the cell should divide. Around the edges is the cell membrane, the boundary that decides what can enter or leave, almost like the walls of a game board. In plant cells, there's an additional cell wall, which gives the cell strength and structure. A bit like the sturdy frame that keeps a game board from falling apart. Inside the cell, the mitochondria are the power generators. They turn food into ATP, which is like the energy points you need to keep playing a game. Without energy, no moves can be made. The vacuole is the storage unit, where water and nutrients are kept for when the cell needs them. In plants, vacuoles are huge, like having an enormous inventory chest in a game, while animal cells keep smaller ones. If you're talking about plants, you also need the chloroplasts, the green organelles that capture sunlight and turn it into glucose. Chloroplasts are like special bonus rounds, where the cell can create its own energy instead of waiting to collect it. That's how plant cells make their own food. Other parts are equally important. The lysosomes act like cleanup crews, breaking down waste so the cell doesn't get clogged. The cytoplasm is the playing field itself, the fluid space where all the action happens and where the organelles float and interact. Together, these parts form a system with no single winner or loser. The cell only survives if every organelle carries out its role at the same time. Think about it. Your body is made up of trillions of these microscopic games happening all at once. Each cell is working to get energy, divide when necessary, and protect itself from losing balance. In a way, life itself depends on the greatest cooperative game ever played. So here's your challenge. You're going to design a board game that shows how a cell and its organelles work together. The board will represent the inside of a cell, and the goal of the game will be to complete an essential cell process. Maybe your players are trying to keep the cell alive long enough to divide. Maybe they are racing to produce enough energy. Or maybe they are competing to fix damage before the cell fails. However you design it, each organelle should have a role in the game, just like in real life. To complete this project, you'll need to do the following. First, decide what the main objective of your board game will be. Will it be to create energy, survive until division, or simply keep the cell functioning? Next, design your game board so that it represents the inside of a cell. Include spaces or areas for each organelle, and decide what happens when players land on them. Then assign rules or actions to the organelles. For example, the mitochondria might give players extra energy points. The lysosomes might make them lose a turn while cleanup happens. or the nucleus might give them the instructions they need for the next move. After that, create clear game directions. These should explain how players move, how they interact with organelles, and how someone wins or loses. Finally, add creative features like cards, tokens, or special rules that make your game fun to play while still teaching the science of how a cell works. By the end of this project, you'll have more than just a board game. You'll have a living model of how cells function. You'll see that organelles aren't just names to memorize, but active players with crucial roles. And just like in any good game, the only way to win is for every piece to play its part.